Today on XboxerBriefs, we take a brief look at a long-running bubble poppin' puzzle game exclusive to the original Xbox. It's Ultra Bust-A-Move. Let's go. The Bust-A-Move series has been a staple in the arcade since 1994, with additional releases in the console and handheld spaces, outside of North America referred to as Puzzle Bobble. The concept is simple: clear the board by launching colored bubbles and matching 3 or more of the same color. Bubbles can be bounced off the side and back walls to get at a target, and strategically taking out a group of bubbles will also eliminate any hanging from that group. Colors are randomized, and on occasion, special bubble types will be put into play and can impact more than just adjacent bubbles. For every 7 bubbles fired, the board will move 1 line closer to the bottom, and if your lowest bubble crosses that line, you fail. You'll select a character from this assortment, each of them being some kind of cutesy, anthropomorphic... I don't know. This choice has 0 impact on how you launch bubbles. It only changes who's at the bottom of the screen and that voice that you hear throughout, which honestly, you really aren't going to be paying much attention to. Classic mode is made up of groups of stages, with each stage represented by a letter. Completing 5 rounds finishes the stage and advances you to one of the next 2, which you'll pick. This is a nice way to allow for some replayability, as there's a number of different paths to take to complete the mode. Stages vary in difficulty, and if you must use a continue, the game will enable a guideline for 1 round that shows you where the bubble will land. You have the option to disable this if you choose, but I find it's helpful. I mean, it's not like it tells you where to shoot, but it gives you some help if you really need to bank a shot or hit a really tight spot. Finishing all the stages unlocks additional difficulty levels. One of the features of this edition of Bust-A-Move is online multiplayer, which sadly is no longer available, but offered head-to-head player rankings. This style of versus mode can still be played locally, with the focus being to defeat your opponent, not simply to clear your own bubbles. So make a point of dropping additional bubbles to pass them over to the other side. Versus challenges include a mode where you go back and forth shooting from the same launcher, with the goal being who can drop the most bubbles. In Color Game, you'll see who can knock out the most target bubbles, and if you've got no one to invite over for Versus, these can also be done against the computer. Or, if this kind of multiplayer isn't your thing, there's also 1-player challenge modes, which to me are kind of hit and miss. Of the 3, I enjoy Blind Challenge, which won't show you the color of a bubble until another touches it, which adds some randomness to the rounds. Sometimes you get lucky and manage to hit an already existing pair, and the rest of the time you'll have to scramble to clear the mess you've made. The other 2 modes are Shot Challenge and Seesaw, and I got really frustrated by these 2 modes. As with Classic Mode, in order to advance a stage you need to pass 5 levels, but here, continuing resets the counter. So with Shot Challenge giving you only 1 bubble to clear the round, if you miss a shot, you end up redoing up to 4 of the prior rounds. There's no guideline, obviously, and things just change a little bit each time. Seesaw forces you to keep balance to the level as you clear the bubbles, and if you get too heavy on one side, the whole thing falls. The issue here is that you could have a perfect follow-up shot lined up and the board shifts, and they make you wait for it to settle before you can fire the next one. In the end, Ultra Bust-A-Move is a great exclusive for a system that doesn't offer a ton in the way of puzzle games. If you know the series or similar games like Snood, you should feel right at home with this one. Ultra has a good suite of single-player content and still offers plenty of competitive couch multiplayer and CPU versus modes. In my opinion, if you dig puzzle games that you can easily pick up and play, I'd say grab it. I want to take a quick moment to thank those of you who've checked out XboxerBriefs since I've refocused and rebranded this channel. The reception has been extremely encouraging, and I appreciate you for taking a moment out of your day to check out each new video. So if you enjoyed this review, be sure you're subscribed so you know when the next one drops, and hit that like button. It really helps YouTube know that it'd be a great one to share with other Xbox fans. And if you ever want to chat about Xbox, I'll occasionally stream a late evening gameplay session that I use for these videos live on Twitch, and a link to my channel over there can be found in the description below. Hope to see you in the chat sometime soon. That should about do it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.